Hi there folks, Andrew here at Chatfuel. Today, due to popular demand, we're going to be talking about how you can use Chatfuel and the superpowers that it offers for lead generation and lead nurturing with your existing SMS or MMS marketing solution. Now, before we dive in and talk all about the advantages of this for your marketing funnel and how to set it up, I want to provide some context. Imagine that we are online course creators and we're selling a high ticket course. We have already ingested lots of leads in Chatfuel. They're about to buy, but we have a very narrow segment that is really hot and we just need to do one more thing to push them over the edge so they pull out their credit cards and buy this course. That might be, for example, sending a discount or promo code. And so how Twilio and the SMS stack fits into all of this is, let's say we have these people in Chatfuel, it's a narrowed down segment, we're going to send them a broadcast, and then once they respond to that broadcast, we'll do one simple thing. We're just going to ask for their phone number. If they provide it, we'll send to their phone that discount code, so that way we know it's a legitimate phone number. And in exchange, we get valuable marketing data, their phone number, and they get a percentage off of this course that they want to buy. So it's a win-win situation for all parties. And now let's show you the nuts and bolts of how to set this up in the dashboard. So first, what I've done here is just created a basic block. I've called it phone promo. And here is where we're going to ask for that phone number and then export the data to Zapier, this third-party intermediary, which will then relay that data to Twilio after the fact. So obviously you can set this up in whatever part of the bot that you want. Let's just imagine that people are, again, receiving that broadcast and then they're going to this block. Great. So first what we want to do is ask for the user's phone number, obviously. We could set it up with some context ahead of time, but I'll just give you the very simplified and succinct version here. So we can do this in one of two ways. We can either use the Save User Input plugin, this yellow plugin right here, which allows the user to manually enter in and type out their phone number, which is certainly fine to do. Or a more advanced way to do it is the Save User Phone Number plugin. This is a dedicated plugin that if the user has their phone number available on Facebook, that's publicly available information, it will automatically populate in the form of a quick reply, and then the user can just with one click submit that, and bam, you're good to go. So I'm going to choose this Save User Phone Number option just because it's the simplest. And let's customize the messaging we want to use here to make it more relevant for the context of this situation. And so for that, I'm just going to say, please provide your phone number and we'll text you a 10% off coupon code. Great. So again, they provide the phone number, we send this code to their phone, then they can check out with that discount automatically applied if we set it up in a URL parameter, or we could just provide that code as well. And then we're going to save this data that the user enters into an attribute. So I'll just call it phone for simplicity, and we're good to go. Let's also provide some sort of confirmation message. Instead of just leaving the user in the dark after submitting this, we want to send a message back to them here in Messenger. So let's inform them, thanks, we'll text you the redemption code ASAP. Great. So we get their phone number, we tell them what's going to happen next, and then the last step here is very simple. We need to, again, export this data from Chatfuel to Zapier, and then Zapier will send that data to Twilio, our SMS marketing service. To do that, I'm just going to click the More button here and choose the Export via Zapier plugin. Super, super simple. And now let's dive into Zapier. So I'm going to head over here. I've already opened up a new Zap that I'm going to create. And for the first step, we're going to choose Chatfuel. You can see it's already down here suggested for me. For the trigger event, I'm going to choose new trigger. So in other words, this means whenever a new user gets to that point in the bot where we set up that export via Zapier plugin, after they submit the phone number, it's going to trigger this workflow. I'll click continue. I'll select the Chatfuel account that I want to use. In this case, it's called Andrew's Demo Bot, and I can tell that because in Chatfuel it says that right over here. I'll click continue. For the plugin, obviously you can use multiple of these export via Zapier plugins within the same bot. So we want to make sure that we're triggering this workflow when the plugin that we expect is hit by a user. So I'm going to select that here, the phone promo trigger, and I can tell that because it's listed on the name of the block right here. I'll then go on to the output attributes. So there's only one attribute that we need to output here, and that is phone number, obviously, but we can also output some others like first name, last name, etc. if we want to personalize the messaging that we're using, or if we just want to send this to Twilio as a new contact and we want to provide that additional information. So for these output attributes, I'm going to select, as mentioned, phone. I'll just type that in here, phone, perfect. That's the name of that attribute we created earlier. And then I'll also add first name here, just so we can kind of personalize the messaging in that text that we send as the follow-up. Perfect. So I'm going to click continue here. And let's also pass through some test data. So I'm going to go into Chatfuel here, and I'll generate a ref link so I can go directly to this block and test it. I'll paste it in the browser right over here, and we'll just enter in some. So I'll click get started. Okay, so I'll enter the phone number. Awesome. So I'm going to go back into Zapier over here, test to pull in that data that we just entered in Messenger so we can complete the next steps. Awesome. Now let's add Twilio for the second and final step here in this Zap. For the action event, I'm going to choose send SMS. As mentioned earlier, you can also send MMSs, meaning multimedia messages. Continue. I'll choose the account that I want to use, which I've already set up previously. If you haven't set this up yet, it's going to ask you for 2 alphanumeric codes. These are API keys, essentially, authorization codes that allow you to interface Zapier with Twilio or whatever service you're using. I'll click continue, and now here's where we set up the bulk of this integration. For the from number, I'm going to click here and choose the Twilio account number that I've created previously when I signed up for the account. For the to number, this is obviously dependent on the individual user who's coming through Chatfuel and supplying us with that information. So for the to number, I'm going to click here and choose the phone number that I entered previously. Now, it is important to note here that you should be asking users in Chatfuel for their 10-digit phone number, but also, depending on the country that the user's from, you need to include the country code here as well in Twilio. Now, this is kind of inconvenient. It can get hairy and complicated if you are creating a bot where you might have people's phone numbers from multiple countries. So if that's the case, again, you do need to know the country code for this phone number. So you could either enter it manually here, which I'm going to do, or if you want to set up the bot workflow in a very intelligent way, you can segment people based on their country and then hard code that attribute value in Chatfuel and then just pass it through here dynamically in Zapier so you don't have to create tons of separate zaps based on the country of the lead coming in. But for simplicity, I'm just going to enter in 1 here in this field. That is the country code for the US, which is where I'm from. And then finally, we can create the message down here. So I'm just going to type in hi. We can ingest and pull in the user's first name from Facebook, from Messenger. So I'll do that. Hi, Andrew. Welcome. Or let's say, hi, Andrew. Congrats. Your coupon code is, and we can say maybe course 10 for 10% off that course. If we wanted to go the extra mile, we could include a URL here that either just takes them to the checkout page, maybe even includes in the URL parameter this coupon code. So they just click that and it's automatically applied. The sky's really the limit here, but this is just a simple way for integrating Chatfuel with Twilio here to send those SMS messages. and do it in an intelligent way so you're not just getting a phone number that the person doesn't use. They have to actively retrieve from that phone number the code to apply it to their purchase. One final note here as well, if you want, as I mentioned, you can not only send text messages, but also MMS messages. So if you wanted to, say, include a GIF here for some added flair, you could certainly do that. And so I've opened here a Google search with a celebration GIF showing that, hey, I'm really happy to get this promo code. So if I wanted to, I could just paste in that link by right-clicking, copy image address, and then pasting it here in Zapier. So that is the setup here. I'll just close this out by clicking continue and finalizing the Zap setup. I'll click test and continue, and we are good to go. We're golden. Obviously, I'm not going to show you actually receiving this on my phone, but that is the setup. Again, fairly simple, a 10-minute or less setup for this integration. Obviously, if you speed through the steps, it's probably even much simpler and much quicker than that. But again, this has been a quick tutorial on how to integrate Chatfuel with an SMS service to expand your marketing stack and take maximum advantage of the information that you're collecting in Chatfuel so that you can back that up and use it across other marketing platforms as well. If you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video, and happy botting.